Here's a part two. I just wanted to clarify. I was sharing my message, and I was talking about, in that message, I was talking about how I moved out. I was living with my mother until I was 19. Met my boyfriend, moved out. I didn't really move out. But that's another story. I needed a place to live. I was homeless for a little bit, and then I moved in with my boyfriend. And from there, I always had somebody. I always had someone. We lived together, and then I had my own apartments. So when I say, oh, I wasn't on my own until recently, I just wanted to clarify that I had my own apartments and lived alone, but I was never alone. I always had people, and it wasn't until it started in 2015, so that started a process where I had nobody. I was alone for 5 years. I had nobody. Nobody I could rely on, nobody I could trust. It was just me, my cat, and God. No friends, all of that went away. Left, I was on my own. I was running my own business. I didn't have coworkers. I lost a job. I really didn't have people. And that's what I meant by that. I didn't have people. And something so sad in that loneliness and the grief of mourning the life that I had, which was a very active social life, to having no social life whatsoever and not having anyone to rely on. Nobody there to tell me, oh, Jen, you're right, or Jen, you're wrong. Nobody there to validate anything that I was going through. Nobody there to explain things to me. And nobody there to help me run an errand, to help me get my car fixed. I didn't have, my relationship fell apart. I didn't have my boyfriend there. I didn't have anybody there to help me. It was just me relying on me, and then really me relying on God, because I didn't have anyone. And so I never thought I could be the woman that goes to lunch on her own by herself, or goes to a concert by herself. I never thought I could be that woman. I never thought I could do that. So while all of that journey was hard and lonely, at some point it stopped being lonely, because I started to enjoy being by myself. And once I started to enjoy being by myself, I became a little bit if I was in a situation and people were behaving a certain way, or it disturbed my peace, I was immediately no. I'm not dealing with this. So in that way, I became a little bit stubborn about what I wanted to be around and who I wanted to be around. But anyway, I'm still in that hermit mode because I'm very selective now. But we all do need some sort of community. And I just wanted to share that, I guess. I wanted to share that part because I didn't share that in the last video, and there's a little bit more context to it. It was lonely, but I wouldn't take back any of those days. Not any of them. Not all the days of crying and suffering and wondering why me. Not all of the days of doing the inner work and finding out what my fucking problems are and looking at myself honestly and seeing how maybe I push people away or where I hurt people. I would never take back any of those days of self-reflection, of having that alone time, to really have that chunk of time where for the most part, I wasn't working. I had my massage therapy business. I selected my own hours, but I could, when I needed to, hide from the world and decompress and heal, I had all of the space. It was really a gift, the way that the divine God, myself as a co-creator, it was a gift, that time where it was just me, and I could do whatever I wanted with my time and not feel in a stranglehold about where I got to be and what responsibilities I have and who I have to be responsible to and who I have to take care of. I had a good chunk of time where I could just exist and heal, and I needed that. So I don't take back, I would never take back any of that time, because I look back now and I see what a gift that was, because now I'm in for the past 2 years been in a situation where I'm the caretaker and I have responsibilities. I have to be responsible. I have a job that I need to go to. I have a set schedule and all of this, and I really miss that space and time, which was so magical, where I didn't have to do anything or be anything to anybody, because there was nobody to be anything to. I mean, I lived with my sister and my mother, and I had to deal with that and whatever dysfunction is there, but I didn't have to, I didn't have other people to tell me anything about myself. I had to learn myself all over again from the get-go, from the bottom up, from the inside out. I did that work because I wanted to know why my life bottomed out and I lost everything. So I would never take any of that back. And if you're in a similar situation where things have fallen apart and it's just you and you're feeling, don't feel down on yourself about it. Enjoy the time that you have, even though it's hard to say that when you're in it. Because when I was in it, I felt like there was something wrong with me because nobody wanted to be around me. And there were times where I struggled with that. But even in that struggle, I really wouldn't guide anybody to feel just feel what you're feeling and go through it, because I had nobody to really guide me. There were readers here or there that I found online that gave me certain messages that I ran across, and that still happens. So I kind of feel like now I have to share my stuff, because somebody could hear this and there could be a message in it for you, and that could help you the way that it helped me when I was alone and had nobody. I really didn't have anybody to depend on, that I could depend on, that I trusted to give me information that was beneficial to my journey. I had to do it all on my own without anybody's help, and I would never take that back. It was one of the most magical and expansive periods of my life. There was nobody there to tell me anything about me. I didn't have to answer to anybody, therefore I didn't feel like I had to put on some sort of mask. I didn't have to be anything but myself, because I didn't have friends thinking I was this or thinking I was that or whatever. I didn't have all of that chatter and noise in my head. I didn't have anybody to tell me anything, and I ended up blossoming into a more into this version of myself. So I don't take any of that back. I don't regret it. I don't regret any of it. So, and neither should you, because one day you'll be on the other side and you'll see that this time was a gift, and you'll be better for it. Toodaloo.